All right, it looks like we are streaming live now. Day from hell. How come I'm having so many days from hell? I truly am. I just cannot catch a break this weekend. Everything I have tried to do this weekend has not lined up. Have you ever had one of those weekends? And it's just almost over. It's Sunday. I'm just waiting for Sunday to be over so I can get back to a busy work week. I like the work week better because everything's stable. Bank transfers, billing, everything I have to deal with is all very regular during the week, but the weekend is a nightmare. And I'm having a little medical issue today. Not even a bad one, but one that's a pain. My head again, the damn bacteria is back, which is not surprising. They said it would come back a little bit. So I have to actually go in for a head sterilization again on my head. It's not in bones or anything like that. It's not bad, but the little sores popped up again. I have a bacterial infection I get in my scalp that I have no immunities to. Cut it out, Harry. So I've got to get that fixed. And of course I have my regular appointment today, which that's covered at least. So it won't be too bad today, but I'm not prepared for today either. I wasn't supposed to have to do this. The nurse actually came. See, I've been supposedly not having to go to the hospital on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, but so far I think the nurse has been coming and I've been paying, but every time I've had to go in, it's really getting on my nerves. You can tell I'm real annoyed that I have to go in because of my head. It would be different if it was like my lungs or something, which is critical. But see, if I don't get the head treated quick, then it's very expensive to fix later. So I have no choice. And it's not something I can do at home either. What are you doing, Harry? This is so terrible. This is messed up. You see these big weeds over here on the left? Now that's the only spot in this place. I've got a couple over there that need cut down. It's the only spot in my yard over here that I don't cut them out. And you might go, well, why don't you cut those weeds out? Well, it's because there's no tree over here. And as you can hear the dog barking, that's the guard dog's space. So I actually let a little bit of weeds grow up over here so he can get up underneath them. But you know what? It's going to have to go. They're too big now. I'm going to have to cut those out. I'll tell. We cut them out everywhere else except this one spot. Because we cut him out in early spring, and the poor dog, we had to move his house. It was just too freaking hot for him over there. So my employee said, well, you know, there's a couple weeds over here that are growing pretty big. Why don't we just let those grow up and he'll lay under those? So we did, but now they're really big. So we're going to have to cut them out. And it's almost to the time of year where we don't have to worry about it. Hey, enough, Dexter. He sort of listens. He's barking because my employee is coming with food for him, hot dogs. Dollar Tree still has a huge amount of chicken hot dogs. They're not real hot dogs, they're made out of chicken. But they're 50 cents a package, so we bought quite a few of them. Now, I've been eating hot dogs, which are okay, but they're not very healthy for you. But I've been eating hot dogs. We made chili dogs yesterday, and I think we're having beanie weenies today. Basically, we're going to go through all those hot dogs to the gut because I bought quite a few. Pretty cheap price. I mean, 50 cents a pack. And at the Dollar Tree, they also had not the Wonder hot dog buns. I don't like those things. Those just taste like goo to me. But the rolls that look like hot dog buns, but they're actually rolls. What are those called? There's a name for those. Not Kaiser roll. That's different. I don't remember what those are actually called. I'm getting old. I don't remember what they're called, but it was really, really good. Part of what makes the hot dog taste good is the bun, guys. Those little Wonder fake bread crap things that everyone eats, that's not even bread, in my opinion. It doesn't taste so good to me. But you have a really good bun on a hot dog, and even if it's a cheap hot dog, I shouldn't be touching my head, sorry. That's why I'm wearing my hat to remind me not to touch my head, this hideous cheap hat. Why is this a hideous cheap hat? Because I only wear it once and I throw them out. Or a couple times. Like today, I'll have to throw this hat out because I had bacteria on my head. That's why I'm not really supposed to be scratching it because it spread it. The only place I have to worry about it is on my scalp. The rest of my skin, I don't really have to worry about. about it too badly. I have had it in my ear though. They had to remove a little piece.
Move it.
I've got to be real careful with this bacteria crap. I know. There are flies in here.
Yeah, door open.
Oh, was the door open? A window open? Did it rain?
No.
Oh, they're gone now.
Yeah, hurry. Come.
I have a little drama today. I'm just not in the mood for it. Oh, Dexter's so happy. Dexter's so funny. He dances when you bring his food. He's a lab, so you know how they get on their back legs. You know, we're going to have to hack off these weeds, even though we're using it to shade the dog. They're just too big. They're too big now. We're going to have to hack off some of these weeds over here. I really don't want to do it, to be honest with you, because it really does work well. The dog gets under there. He's dug a little hole in there, curls up. When it's hot, they dig a little hole in the ground. And there's no sun because of the weeds, but I'm going to have to hack out at least almost maybe one or two, leave just a little shade for him. The old place that he used to be was all shaded, and that was no good either. He never got any real sunlight to lay in. It was all shaded all day long, which is okay, but you really need the sun to hit. If you have a dog pretty much in one area, you really need the sun to hit the ground because they urinate and stuff over there. You don't want that stuff in the shade all the time. Otherwise, it becomes a nightmare to keep it clean. All right, are we ready? Finally? Let me have a drink of water.
That's good.
These are good waters?
Yeah, let me tell you. That's good.
Well, just leave. Just
No, and the
I don't have all day.
the room.
Oh, for your feet.
Yep. I'll step in this board. Because I'm always step in that board.
Yeah, I got to fill those legal documents today. Yummy. Cheap water. Do you want some water here, or is it where you're throwing a fit? Here, let me give you a little water. Make sure there's no crap in your little cup here. Now you're probably going to pee in the car. There's a little water for you. I used to have this really cute cup thing that it had a bowl on top, and you'd squeeze the bottle and it would fill up. It was a one-way valve. It would fill up with water. Well, I thought, oh, this is wonderful. We used it for like 2 whole days. It was not cheap either. And I was like, oh, this is great. We finally have a solution. All we have to do is fill up this big water bottle and just squeeze it. And the dogs have plenty of water. We don't have to worry about them, not having water. If we go into the store or something, even though I don't like to do that, we crack the windows. Never more than 5 minutes, guys. And that's all it takes. So we crack the windows, have the air on full blast, and then I would squeeze the little thing for the water so we could run into the store real quick and run out. Or I'd leave my employee in the car, depending on what we were doing. Well, I thought, great, we have finally solved, because you've got to have water. Even if you only crack the windows and it's only like 85 degrees, it's the temperature where it starts getting hot because the sun's coming in. If it's 85 degrees and you crack the windows, the dog is going to need water in a minute and a half. The temperature will increase by 10 to 15 degrees as soon as the air is not pumping, even with the windows open. So within a minute and a half, the dog's going to need some water to cool off their tongue. If you can get back to the car within 5 minutes, the temperature in the car won't be so bad. You can jump in, you'll be a little hot, but you won't be like, but after 5 minutes, death zone. So never, ever, ever. Hey, you can wait for those. He's coming. He's eyeballing them hot dogs. He's eyeballing them hot dogs. You know it's coming, don't you, Harry Potters? You're going to get some hot dogs. Come on, we got to get going here. I've got a day from hell. I normally on Sunday do a Facebook Live. I'm going to do the Facebook Live on my way back. Now, what I have to do, I need to recap my medical, because there's 4 medical people. I gave him water. I gave him some. I have 4 medical people that are going to pop into my video this morning to find out what they have to do when I get up there. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat. The nurse came this morning. She said, oh, bacteria on your head. I said, what? She goes, yeah, I just touched your head and I got gook on my hand. I was like, like, oh no. She goes, let's look at it. So we got, and I had my UV cap on. That's ultraviolet cap I wear every night to keep that stuff away. So that's how she touched it. She said, I pulled your cap off and there was a little slime under it. So I felt around and I felt a little slimy area, so let's go look at it. So she got the little light out and the magnifying thing. She didn't have to really get the magnifying thing because it's all in one spot. That's the good news. That's what the people in the hospital are wanting to know. That's the good news. It's all in one spot and nowhere else. She did the little light thing that's supposed to detect it. Now it doesn't work like it does at the hospital. These are the people listening. But she's normally pretty good at catching it if it's elsewhere. And we got no trace anywhere except for about a 3-inch circle right at the primary source, which, as everyone that's watching knows already, that's always going to happen. It's always going to come back at that primary source. It can be one molecule that we miss, and that's all it takes, or one bacterium that we miss, and that's all it takes. It did take an excessively long amount of time. I was supposed to look up the date, and I forgot. So you'll have to go to medical records and look up the date. And the date would be the last full ultraviolet treatment I got. Not the last 2 partials, but the last full ultraviolet treatment I got is the date that the last infection came up again. That's a little small for you.
No, it's my size used to work, bro.
But your feet are swollen. Wearing some Skechers. These were for... Oh, no, these are too small for you.
No, it's my size.
Nah, those are an inch too small for you.
I wore it before.
You've worn them before? Well, try to put them on then.
Let's get tight on this a long time ago.
Yeah, they're too small.
I know where.
I think you wore the other pair.
No, this one.
No, don't give it to the dog.
No, I thought it's melon.
Why would he want to do that?
They find it.
All right. So the hospital drama is, it's bad because I have no choice but to get this thing treated. They're not going to do any slicing as far as I can tell. 3 inches is a rather large circle. Normally it's 2, but it is all in one area, and so that's better. There's 3 kinds of bacteria that can pop up in that same spot. It's not the worst one. I'm not going to name these off because I'm public right now. I can see the medical people in there watching right now. 2 of the 3 are already there. They watch on Twitch, by the way, guys. They don't watch on the Facebook and YouTube. That's why. And unless they comment, you're not going to know they're there, but I get to see them. But they watch on Twitch. It's 3 inches. That's what she said. I haven't seen it. She took a little picture and I could kind of see it pretty well, but it's not raised yet too much. It's oozy, not raised. Raised, I have issues. Major issues. That means it's already too late for the little treatments they're going to do now. Raised would mean that there's a chance that the bacterial levels are high enough that it would permeate the silver layer that's on top of my skull underneath that tissue. There's nothing they can do. They can cut it out and it'll just grow right back. I mean, difference. Wow. So it's better to just keep treating the same area. They did take a few sections out a couple months ago. This is for everyone listening. Medical people have already logged off. They already got all the info they needed. So enough of my medical stuff. Let me double check that. Let me see your phone real quick. I'm checking my Twitch network. That's where all my medical people look, by the way. So if you want to see that, you can go to Twitch. But I think I have that private. Or, well, no, private for their comments. Okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I think we're good. Let me double check. Yeah, definitely we're good. They're already logged off. Okay, so all my medical crap's over. I don't have to talk about that anymore. We're on my way to my mom's house. She's not going to be particularly thrilled to see me today. I wasn't supposed to have any drama today, and I have drama. And I can't do anything about it because I don't have any real resources until Monday. I cannot wait till Monday. I tried. I said, well, you just found it this morning. They said, I called up there and I said, yeah, you know what that means. I said, yeah, I'm just trying to convince you to let me get out of it. They said, well, you can not come today, and then we'd be doing surgery tomorrow, so they'd have to take off some tissues to be able to do it, because it'll raise by tomorrow afternoon. So I've got a little drama going on. over stupid bacterium. You know, it would be one thing if it was my lungs filled up with fluid, which they are, and I'm going to get them drained. Nurse said, well, you know, since you're going up there, we're not going to do your treatment. And I'm glad they started doing that, because they used to make me do the treatment, then go up there and see how ineffective it was. Well, what freaking good is that? Those treatments are extremely expensive. So now I'm actually building up some treatments. I have 4 treatments that I've been able to, that I've had to skip because I went to the hospital. Last month, I would have just been out the money for those 4 treatments. That's a lot of money, guys. So it's not really going to help me too much this month, but going into the beginning of the next month, they're probably going, I'll have a credit for 4 of my days. I have these treatments every day, 3 times a day. So 4 days worth are going to be covered going into the next month. So that should drop my bill down a little bit. I like waving at families when they do that.
Husband and wife?
Husband and wife walking, and they're old as dirt, so you know the kids are already gone. I like waving at them. And then it was cute the other day. This is kind of like a family street we just drove down. Was it yesterday or day before? I don't remember. All the days have blended together. It was either yesterday or the day before. 2 housewives. And when I say housewives, this is the typical, stereotypical housewife. Betty competing with Jane across the street. One gets a new speedboat, the other one has to get one a little better. One has a little baby girl, the other one better have a little baby boy so they can complain about it. I mean, it's just constant. I know the 2 families, and they've done that for generations. Even my grandparents would talk about the 2 competitions because the same families have been across the street for years. Well, we drove by there, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and it was adorable. They both had just had little baby girls, and they had them done up in the cutest little outfits. You saw that? They were adorable little outfits with the little flowers and feathers and ribbons. I mean, just the cutest little thing. And they both kept just trotting out with their kid at the same time. You knew that they had almost planned it. They both, oh, I was just going for a walk. So was I. Oh, what a cute outfit. As I'm driving by, I heard all that. I was like, ah. It just cracks me up. I think that's wonderful, though. If there's something that you're going to have pride in and want to show off and compete with someone, how well you take care of your children or dress your children, not necessarily the speedboat values, that's a bit petty, but how well you take care of your children and the cute little outfits you find for your children, that I think is a fun and healthy competition. Trying to buy a more expensive thing than the neighbor buys over and over, that's stupid, but the cute little outfits, I think that's healthy. What do you think? You agree with me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, funny.
I think that's healthy. I think that gives the and these are real housewives, guys. Real housewives. And, oh my! Look at their hostas.
I know, but
beautiful hostas.
You picked that tree fell, yeah.
Yes, that huge oak. Oh, I am really dreading this morning.
The house lucky for.
I don't know how this is going to pan out, to be honest with you.
Like a plant in the tree fell, like right position.
Nobody's expecting me to be coming over today. I don't know how this is going to pan out. Uh-oh, message. What was that?
No, it's kind of McDonald's.
Oh, it's just a junk message. Yeah. All right, I'm not getting into a topic yet because I'm almost to my mom's house. I know I'm going to have to go. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go in there, and I don't even know that's going to be successful today. I am not prepared. Are they there? Yeah, they're there.
¿Tú más puedes estar there?
What?
In the garage sale?
Oh, no. What is that, a community sale or something?
I don't know, it's a garage sale.
Well, I think the person's supposed to come buy that stuff today.
Oh, they live in the corner.
Yeah, that lives in the corner. All right, guys, I have to run in with my employee to my mom's real quick and tell her what's going on. She has no idea. Oh, they do show her. She's going to freak out. I'll take my hat off and say, here, look at this. Ooh, go, get out of my house. All right, I'll be back as quick as I can get back. Oh, this is a nightmare.
There's nothing there.
Supposed to bring Coke today.
I told I didn't have plenty of stuff. I give me the pork. Hey, when you get the pork.
You
Moving. Go in the back. Go in the back.
day.
No, that's
All right. I made it back, guys. I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting, but I had to fill in my mama what's going on. She kind of knew what was going on. She was watching my video. And since I was looking at Twitch, I didn't know she was watching. But yeah, things are going to work out okay today. I'm going to get my head thing fixed. My normal lung drain and all that's already scheduled. So it's not going to be too awful. I think we're okay. I think. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. I'm running through what I got to do today. All right, that's enough of that. All right, so let's get on to something fun. First thing that my employee is going to do is he's going to hand me one of those little pieces of cantaloupe. I don't want any honey. I just want a piece of cantaloupe. My mom gave us some cantaloupe. I'm going to eat it with my fingers. Wait. I don't know if that's local grown. Is that my mom's?
I grow one, it tastes the same thing.
It tastes the same. That might be from my mom's garden. We had a cantaloupe we picked yesterday, but it wasn't. This one's ready. Mine wasn't quite ready. This one's ready. Mine, the one I had, wasn't quite ready at home. I failed. You're gonna go, what did he fail on this time? I totally failed. We had planted, ouch. We had planted pumpkins. Not too many. It was too soppy. Too soppy. My pumpkins did not survive. Last year, I had a plethora of pumpkins. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before, maybe. Yeah, we didn't do it last year. It was the year before. The year before, I had a plethora of pumpkins, which is really good for me to have going into the fall because I just hack those things up. I put them in the freezer some. And then right early spring, as soon as the grass is dying off, I give the cattle a lot of that mixed in kind of with their hay, but I don't give them much real produce or anything except hay early in the winter. I don't even give them corn or anything. I wait till it's really bad. And then I go to my deep freeze and we have, that reminds me, you've got to chop up that clover before we lose it. Let's do that today or tomorrow. Then what my employee does, I know this sounds crazy, but I've been doing this for years and it saves me a lot of money. I have a great big deep freeze, no food in it. There was beef, but that's all long gone. We went through that a long time ago. So it's basically just kind of leftover produces and stuff we put in there. Well, I used to have this grocery store, Leon's Thriftway, which I loved in Kansas City. Family business, been around forever. Chains put them out, so to speak. So, I used to, once a week, I'd swing by the family thrift, or the Leon's thrift, there's a thrift store right next to it. I would swing by Leon's Thriftway, and he would fill my car with the collards that were turning and cabbages and, like in the produce section when someone sticks their finger on something, they pull that out. They don't sell anything defective. So I'd get huge carloads full for like $10, sometimes even free, depending on what it was. Sometimes huge cases of oranges, maybe one orange in the whole case was bad. The rest was all fine. So we would basically all through the winter, I don't do it in the summer so much, but all through the winter, once a week we'd stop by there and basically all of our produce, we had to be real picky. You had to go through it well, but basically we'd never have to buy any of our produce or anything like that. And anything that was still good or going bad, so good.
The honey.
You put honey on that one. That was good. Oh, that was good.
Yeah, I got honey with it.
All right, you go. So, basically, my produce was pretty much free through the winter, but all the extras, the tops of carrots, all the peels, all that stuff, just like the same thing you would throw out in a compost heap. If you freeze it, press it, and freeze it fresh, you can give that to your cattle in the middle of winter. Now, it's not very much, but I'll tell you. Do I need to stop now?
Yeah, well, no. Well,
I guess not.
You passed it.
I passed it. Let's stop along the way. But we still got enough gas to get up the street.
I'll come back and then back in.
Well, no, I don't have enough gas to get all of it. We have to stop.
Well, it's cheaper than it.
Yeah, but I can stop Bay City. Nah, might as well just go on up. I forgot to get my gas, but I have enough to get up there, I think. We'll stop along the way. You interrupted me. I interrupted myself. Something happened. But the freezer, the deep freeze, we will literally take the deep freeze and take a box, just a regular cardboard box. So good. A regular cardboard box. Sorry, I'm getting on the highway. I'll make sure I get on right. Excellent. So we take a regular cardboard box and a board we have cut to be the exact same size as the box, a little bit smaller. And I literally put my big old fat butt up on top of that board and smash it down. And my employee will fill up the box again. I get up on top of the board and smash it down. And we literally pack it in as tight as we can get it in that cardboard box. As a matter of fact, the cardboard box normally turns green from the juice coming out of the fresh cut greens. So we smash it all down as tight as we can get it in that cardboard box. And then in the middle of winter, all we do, we just grab one of those boxes about once every 4 or 5 days, as long as we have them. They don't last long. And I'll take the box and I have a big machete and I'll normally just hack it right in half or into 4 pieces, depending on how big of a box it is. And then we just throw that in with their normal hay. So while they're eating the dried up hay that that's all the cows get through the winter, and some corn, rather than just having the dried up hay to eat, they end up getting fresh greens. They're not totally fresh. They've been frozen, but the chlorophyll and all that stuff is still in there, and it's actually very rich. And then in between the days we don't use the deep freeze, I would use the stuff that I brought home from the grocery store. Used to save me about $600 a winter. Well, that grocery store's not there anymore. So what I tried to do, and I failed, that's why I started off with I failed. What I tried to do is like, okay, let's try to see if we can get these pumpkins to generate enough that we can substitute some of the food that we've been having with these pumpkins. Because the pumpkins don't actually have to be deep freezed right off. They do rot and go nasty, but before that, you normally get them all eaten before they go bad.
There's the apples and the pears and
And we have to go to I-70, that's where another orchard we have is. And we need to fill up the car with all of the apples and pears and all the stuff, even the stuff falling off the tree, all that stuff. And then what we do is we cut it all up. There's nothing to eat there. It's all bad now. Well, wait a minute. The pears will be good still, and maybe the apples. Now the apples will be all working. We can dehydrate it for the birds. So what we do is, you know what? That's another thing we need to do this week. We are almost too late to do that. We need to go over there and do that really soon. I mean, this is a big orchard. It's got lots of stuff in it. So we're going to go over to the orchard. We're going to gather up as much stuff as we possibly can from there as well. I know that sounds really petty to go through all this work to just try to save a little bit of money. But seriously, guys, cattle is not a profitable venture. Even with the extremely high prices that you're paying for cattle, it's not a profitable venture unless you have a feeder lot, and I don't. My cattle live healthy, free range. They eat off the pastures. They get supplemental food in the winter so they don't get thin. That's what we do. Most cattle lots that generate money, it looks like a big old poop pile, almost like a pig pan. They might rotate. If they have enough property, they'll rotate them around, but it ends up being all mud, and you see these big circles, and there'll be a big bale of hay and a big long trough of hormone-injected corn. That's the ones that make money because they're given the stuff to grow fast. They don't get to move around. They get big really quick, and then they get butchered. I'm an old-fashioned farmer, right? Family farm. My cattle are raised very, very healthy. I avoid all the stuff. I don't even really like to give them their injections, but they do get injections each year. You have to. Just for diseases, just like dog immunization kind of thing. But I don't give them any of the growth hormones or all that other psychotic stuff that people do. I think we have an extremely low tire today. Feel the wheel.
You're driving.
Feel that?
You're driving.
I think that one in the back is arrogant. We have a small leak in one of our tires again. We get nails all the time. You did fix the last one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got two nails. Staple.
Staples. You know what that's
Big
from?
one.
That's
Big
from the
one?
highway. No, it's from the highway department when they put those signs up when they were doing the construction.
Yeah.
We always pick up nails and everything in the car. So that's kind of what goes on with the stepping on the grass and the stuff and putting it in the freezer. And it saves me about $600 a year. Now this year I won't be able to save as much. But, well, no, wait a minute. We do have that one, did that corn come up that we put in the bag?
No.
The Indian corn didn't come up?
No.
One year we planted just for decoration along one of my fence lines a whole bunch of Indian corn. In case you're not familiar with what Indian corn is, that is the corn that it's all different colors, like burgundy
Purple.
and purple and black and blue and yellow and all. That's called Indian corn.
Really purple.
And this isn't the genetically altered one, so it's mostly just one dark color with a couple little light ones in. But it's called Indian corn. It's not overly tasty. It's more of it's like a cross almost between seed corn and corn that you would eat, like corn on the cob. But you can eat it, and it's quite good. But the kernel's a little bit small, and it's not as flavorful as like sweet corn. Peaches and cream. Is it peaches and cream? Yeah, peaches and cream from Burpee seeds or Gurney. I'm not sure which. Peaches and cream. That is the corn you want to buy. That is the bomb, guys. And there's a white one that's very good too. My mom was here, she'd know it, but I can't remember what. Baby white or something. Very, very good sweet corn. Well, we had planted this big, long row all up and down the fence because we just had some on a cob. And we were working on the fence. It was all muddy and torn up. I said, well, this is all muddy. Why don't we just sprinkle some of this little corn along here? It's just out in the pasture. I said, well, maybe it'll grow. Well, I guess that was 3 years ago, right? Every single one of those little things popped up. And that year we saved almost $800 just off all that Indian corn, because you cut it off stalks and all, give it to the cattle. I can't plant a pasture of corn. Let me explain why. I could. I have a little fenced off area in my pastures that I could put corn. But I would have issues with my cattle breaking into it. It's just too tempting because it would literally just be on the other side of barbed wire. So I just don't have it. I could put a garden in my yard. They don't get into the garden in the yard. That's not attractive enough to them, I guess. But I didn't even do that this year because, we just put up new fences. We've been trying to do everything we can to make sure that they don't have any desire to leave the fence. Because as soon as you have one cow walk through that fence, doesn't matter if they're brand new or not, they'll walk right through those things. We have had no trouble with that, though. We had a few calves get out, but they always do. Calves, they just walk underneath. That's not an issue. And that's common. We did have a couple get out, but just once. We had some people call and say ours were out, but they weren't ours. Ours used to get out more, but not really. They're about the same as always. But the fence is better. That's mine. That's a big, drippy honey one. They have that one. I'm really enjoying the cantaloupe. Put a little honey on it. Cottage cheese and a little honey is really good too. Yeah, you put a little cottage cheese and a little honey on it.
Or yogurt.
Or yogurt, well, of course. Everything tastes better with yogurt. All right. Okay, let me think. Let me recap my thoughts here. Let's talk some business. This is Sunday. There's a few things I announce every Sunday, and I probably will forever. There's a show I like. There's a show I like on Sunday. It's Bolarama, Jay Kraft show. He went to eBay Open, did a great job. He's beginning to take off. He's going to boom. He doubled his numbers, which I knew he would do when he went to eBay Open. Now, there's one more trick for him to double his numbers, and that is keep doing the good work that he's doing. And I say that because I really mean it. I have no vested interest in him at all. I do like him. He's a nice guy. A lot of people don't like him because he's too honest. I have that problem too. I don't care. I'm old. But in his business, it's a little tricky. But I will say this. want to find out what's going on in e-commerce, and you're willing to put your own ideas aside and actually listen to the facts, you can learn a lot of stuff from Jay's show. He reports things and then backs them with the data that goes along with it, exactly like I do when I'm learning. And he uses a very clear scientific method in doing this. He doesn't talk about that, but I've already broken down everything he does. Good reporting. For me to say that means a lot, guys, because I'm a bitch. I know it. I am as picky and as thorough as you can be. And I'm that way on purpose. I don't take any fact, even a fact shown me in writing, I don't take any fact as truth until I verified the fact I just verified. Jay does that kind of reporting. And you're not going to find much of that in e-commerce. Most of the e-commerce reporting, think of e-commerce bits, the biggest, nastiest piece of crap rag on the planet. Useless paper. They do know what's going on, but it's all sensationalized news where they quote part of the statement to make it mean one thing, but then when you read what the person actually said, it means something totally different. And they love doing it. So do not listen to e-commerce Bites news in its entirety. It's good to read it. They do stay on top of what's going on, guys. I will give them props for that. But it's sensationalistic reporting. Okay, be warned of that. I can't count the number of times I've seen e-commerce news quoted, and it's crap. You can quote it if you verify the facts, and if you go back verify the facts, you're going to find there's very little in one of their articles that you can actually quote. Even the direct quotes that they use are partial, so be warned. You need to find a source to cross-reference everything you read all week long. Now, I used to spend 10, 15 hours every week researching all the new e-commerce stuff, wasting a lot of my business time. For almost a year now, I haven't had to waste that much time. Now, I still verify everything Jay tells us to. Haven't. But I don't feel I need to. But I do it anyway. And I'll tell you, in this year, there have been a couple little things that I have found that I have disagreed with the interpretation of the data. That's okay. But not once has I heard any inaccurate data from any research that he has done, except for one situation he actually quoted data, and then he found out that that data was no good, and he actually came in, I think it was 3 weeks later, and said, by the way, I have an update to a show I did 3 weeks ago. The data that I used was okay, but it wasn't really the whole information. And that was a long time ago. That's the only situation I've ever heard where the information he's giving you is a little off kilter, and that's not even off kilter, guys. That is an excellent record. And for me to say that, guys, I really mean that. I'm not promoting his show because I have no vested interest in it, guys. I mean, I'm part of their little group, and their group is great. I highly recommend that you get involved with them. But, you know, they're resellers. I do that a little bit. I have a show doing it live on Wednesday where you can come in and buy stuff wholesale. Less than wholesale, lost. So yeah, I'm a reseller, and I did have eBay as a reseller store. I started with vintage. So everything that's involved in their group, yes, I know all about, and I'm still involved in a small way. But it's really not the focus of my business. I'm much bigger than that. I'm much more than a reseller. I am that, and that's a great business to be in. There's good profit margins there. But I'm volume. I'm trying to go global. Basically, I'm going to have my own platform in no time flat. I almost do on my own creation. So my goals and what I'm working on, they coincide with the group because that's part of my business. But that's just a very tiny part of my business. But I still stay active there. And I still try to pop in and share things that they might need to know. And I learn a lot from them too, because there are some vintage items. I mean, I have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of vintage. I haven't looked up because I quit selling vintage 10 years ago. That's all still in my cabinets. As a matter of fact, you're going to see some of that on my Wednesday and Friday show. Wednesday and Friday is an opportunity for you to come in and buy stuff at loss. Like I said, I was a reseller on eBay with new items competing against China. I did very well with that for 10 years. That will not work in the current eBay. No way on earth. So I had to dump that. Well, that dump is $1 million sitting in my warehouse at my cost, guys, and it's more than that. That's my cost. Can you imagine what that's worth online? Well, I need that warehouse emptied out. I've got motorcycles and ATVs that I can order from my own business, wholesale, have my employee assemble them, take them up to a friend of mine in Kansas City that sells motorcycles between friends all day long, all the time, and they have a mechanic shop. I can drop a couple of those. Dogs are pushing on the windows. Watch the window. I can put a couple of those in Kansas. It's locked? Okay, all right. I can put a couple of those in Kansas City a week, and you'll be able to flip it. He said he could probably flip all I bring. I can only buy so many motorcycles at a time. I'm very poor, guys. As it is, I'm going to have to give up something to do this. Probably food again. I hope you like 50-cent hot dog. But I'm going to have to give up something. Or, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take emptying that warehouse, because I'm just as happy having a bonfire, guys. I'm doing this show for you. And I really mean that, guys. I had to be convinced to sell these products at a loss, because I'm not making anything. I'm selling them for half or less than what I actually paid for them in the first place. The only reason I'm doing that is so I don't go out and start $1 million bonfire. I did a $10,000 bonfire on video, and I had to take it down from the post because people got so upset. Oh, I'll buy that, I'll buy that. So I got convinced to make a show, but now I've made the show, and I'm only getting people buying things in messages. They're not coming into the show to get the real discount. Well, I make more if you buy it from me in messages, but I need you guys in my show. I'm not kidding. I pulled out a digital scale in my show. The wholesale price on it was $10. I sell for $35 online. My price to buy 3, if you bought all 3, are $5 a piece. They go in one box. You would get that for $20 or $25. I adjust the shipping a little bit, your price a little bit on the shipping. Each one of those can be sold, or you can give them out as gifts. That's just a bad example of the tons of stuff I have. You know those little plastic baskets, those little red plastic baskets you see them all over the place? You buy them pretty cheap. Dollar Tree, I think it's 3 for $1. Those plastic baskets are 3 for $1 at Dollar Tree, right? The sandwich baskets. You know, like you put wax paper in for burgers and fries. Dollar Tree, they're 3 for $1. They're 3 for $1. Dollar General, wherever it is, it's 3 for $1.
$2.50 for 3.
He says $2.50 for 3, but he's delusional. I know I bought them 3 for $1. That might have been a Dollar Tree. They only have them sometimes. But Dollar General, he is correct. They're $1.50 for 3. That's the price. Well, that's local. And I'll tell you, you can't sell them. Lots of 3. We have how many? 1,000? We have an entire tote smashed full of those things. So, in my show, what I would do is, I'd say, oh, okay, we've got thousands of these things. Why don't you guys look up online and see which way they sell best? Do they sell best in lots of 3, 5, 10, a dozen, or 100? So people will go look during the show. They'll go look online. Okay, look, here's the analytics. No, I'll already have that for you. But I'd like to get people involved looking up on their own stuff. That way they're looking at it themselves. They're not just taking my word for it. This is a real good show, guys. I really designed this to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. First off, I'm wasting my time doing it because I just need the money back. I'd probably have better luck having the money back just locally distributing it. But I'm doing it online because I know a lot of e-commerce sellers that can make money off these products. I want this done, though. I need butts in the seat on Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central Time and on Friday, 7 p.m. Central Time. The only way you get the super deep cheap deal is in the show. So, for example, with those, fryer baskets or whatever you use, sandwich baskets, little wax paper in, you know, the little red baskets. In the show, I have also a whole bunch of salt and pepper, a whole bunch of ketchup and mustard squeezes, you know, the little cheap plastic ones. So in the show, I was like, okay, if anyone wants a lot, we'll do 10 of these baskets and a set of ketchup and mustard. $5. Now, that's not an overly great price. So I said $5 for 10 baskets and a mustard and ketchup thing. But I did that price on purpose because then right after I said that, but if you buy a double order, the next order is $1.50. So what I'm doing is I'm encouraging you to buy at a really fairly cheap price. And then if you buy more, I'm basically throwing it in really dirt cheap because the more you put in your box, the less crap is sitting in my warehouse, and the sooner I can get rid of that, the less tempted I'm going to be to bonfire it, because I'm giving this a timeline. I have got to get my other business rocking and rolling. That's taking the place of eBay. My other businesses are taking up the slack. I'm making a living, barely. But once I get that eBay warehouse emptied out, I can actually make more money than I did on eBay with no work. All I gotta do is buy a couple things, have people do the work for me, and then sit back and get the money. Much better business model. But I can't do that with all that inventory in there. I can only donate a certain amount to charity. I've already far exceeded what I can do. As a matter of fact, I'll probably get audited because of it, but that's okay. I'm anticipating an audit. But I'm telling you guys, if I can't get this warehouse emptied by people coming to the show and me giving them the items, basically, I'm bonfire it. I'll bonfire it. And that's not good. That's a lot of money that would be flushed down the toilet on my end, and opportunity for a lot of sellers. That's how come I was convinced to do this. But I really need people to buy this stuff in the boxes. You're not buying the items, you're buying a box. This is how it works. You pop into the show on Wednesday or Friday. There's an app that you can buy things that people didn't buy in the show, but you're going to pay more money. And my employee hasn't put those pictures in yet. Eventually there'll be an app that the stuff that was in the show that didn't sell, you can go to the app and buy it. Still cheap, but not as cheap as the show. So this is how it is. You go in there and you just tell me what you're interested in. You don't even know what I have. I've got everything. I really mean that. So you say, oh, okay, I need king size beds, sheets. Okay, sets, comforters, what do you need? And be specific, because my employee then runs to the warehouse, cussing and screaming and carrying on because I have to make him go to the warehouse. It's a lot of work. And he pulls the items that he believes match what you ask for online. And that's what we're going to sell. No matter what he brings in, that's what's going to get sold. Even if he brings something that you didn't ask for, it's still going to go up for big because he brought it in. So let's say he does a good job and he brings a few comforter sets for King, and he brings a whole bunch of sheets, individual and sheet sets, because I'm going to have one of variety. So he brings all that in. First thing we do, now not just you, anyone can bid on this stuff, but whoever asks for the products first, that's basically what we're going to be selling that day. And I literally go through the tote, one at a time, and I'll count. Okay, we got 6 sets of navy blue, Hudson Park, 500 thread count cotton sheets. My cost on those was $10 a piece. You know those are worth a fortune, right? My cost on those were $10 a piece. You get them for $5 a set. You're like, great, I'll take 5 sets. Okay, wonderful. So this is what you have to do and what we do. Once you've decided you want 5 sets at $5 a piece, in the chat, trust me, you haven't paid anything yet, and you're probably not going to pay $5 a piece. So listen carefully. So in the chat, you write, and I'll give everything a number. Show item 1, show item 2. So you write show item 1, Hudson Park King sets, 5 sets, 5 each. Write that in the chat, right in the show. You're not done yet though. We keep going. I still got more stuff to go. You've already told me what you wanted for that first bid. But let's say you need to see it. Let's say a comforter comes up. Oh, that comforter matches them sheets. I'll take that too. Okay, well it's a $50 comforter. I paid $20 for it. You get it for $10. Now don't get all excited yet. Remember, this is a very big comforter. You have to ship that. But remember, you've already got the box of sheets, and you already have the comforter. Everything gets condensed into one box, or divided into 2, whichever is cheapest. So you just keep going until you've bought everything that you want to get, or I'm tired of selling, and the show ends. Then at the very end, you've got one more you got a couple little jobs to do, but they're pretty easy. At the very end, I hope you're writing this in a notepad. is you're going to copy and paste the entire list of your entire order. This is important. You do this. This is your verification that the box you bought is going to have this stuff in it. Otherwise, you're just buying an empty box legally. I'm doing this all very up and up. So, at the end, when you say, okay, I'm ready to check out, I'm like, okay, give me your list. So we go through the list. And let's say your order comes to $110. Okay, everything that you bought today comes to $110. We haven't included shipping. Wait just a moment. My employee busts his butt. That's why he's going to hate Wednesday, Friday, because he has to really work hard on these days. Because I'm just in front of the camera. He's doing everything. He will make sure that list you just put in chat, he's going to go through and verify that the things that I told him to put in your box are the exact same things on the list. Then he's going to box it up and weigh it. We don't have your address, and I don't want it, not publicly. I'm in the middle of the country. Oh, shit.
A body or what?
Body in the road or something. Ugh, horrible.
Rubber plastic?
Yeah, big thing in the road, sorry. So, he'll box it all up, and we are in the middle of the country, so chances are the shipping is going to be the same no matter where we send it. That's a good advantage of being in the Midwest. You never have to pay 4 zones here. This is 2 at the most, sometimes 3. So I have a pretty good estimation of what your total shipping is for the whole mess. And he'll tell me while you're listening. He'll say, oh man, this is good except for that damn comforter. I can put everything else in a box that's going to get there for $10, but the comforter will not fit in the box. You're going to hear me ask you a question. I'm going to say, is that comforter for resale or for you? If you say it's for you, I'll say, okay, we can get that to you for $10. You know why? Because we'll go get a vacuum seal bag and we'll take all the air out of it and we'll smash that SOB down and to get you a $10 box to get it to you. And if we can get it small enough, it'll go into a little bit larger box on the first order. So once we know the absolute cheapest way we can get all the products you order to, either in one box or multiple boxes, and it takes him a minute to do that. So you do have to kind of be a little patient. Once we have your absolute dirt cheapest shipping price to you, then he tells me what it is. And I'm going to say, okay, your order was $110. We know that it's about $20, $25 to get everything to you. But, you know, you bought a lot of stuff. Some of it's kind of pricey. $110, buy a box. So you just got out of the shipping. Remember I told you I put those sheet prices, it's based on half of what I paid. But $5 a sheet, that's still a really good deal. But you bought 5 of them. So what I do is I try to take off a little bit of what I'm making back and cover your shipping so you can still flip these items at a significant profit. That's the whole point of why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I just put it in a bonfire. You think I'm bothered with $5 return, less than a 5.5% return on items that I've already flushed? I'd rather have the warehouse space. So I'm doing this as an opportunity for everybody else. I still will get some of my money back. That'll help. As a matter of fact, fingers crossed, this will work out good for both of us. If I can get enough people buying this stuff off of me really cheap and get it out of my warehouse, then the money that I get from that is going to go directly into the motorcycle so that I'm buying to resell and start my other business. Everything leading into something else. Now, I have laid out not only why I am offering these things to you, I told you the reasons for them. I've even told you what I'm going to be doing next. Now, if you're a friend of mine and you know me, chances are you know I'm actually offering you a real deal here. This isn't that liquidation crap that everyone says and you go in and it's $1.50, $2 less than you could have bought it at the store. No, this is whatever I paid in clearance. I'm going to try to make sure it's at least half of that. Then I'm going to try to take off enough that if you buy enough stuff, see, that's why I have to do that. You have to buy as much as possible. If you buy enough stuff, I'm going to get it to you even more dirt cheap. You are never going to see another one of these in your lifetime. I haven't seen a true liquidation sale in 20 years. Everyone says it all the time, but it's not real. I am doing the real deal here. So take advantage of this. I know I'm harping, but I'm really giving you guys a shot here. There's nothing wrong with these products. The problem was eBay's search engine sucks. I'm a volume store. I require 50 to 100 sales a day to be able to flip into the other businesses that I'm doing that are actually paying the bills right now. See, I have to have that volume. If I can't get that volume with that overhead, then I need to get rid of all of it and start something else. And that's exactly what I did. Now, that doesn't mean I'm out of e-commerce. As a matter of fact, I have quadrupled my business on e-commerce. I am now a global store. I just don't use a local warehouse. That's the only change. And I ditched eBay, which is a dead horse. Overhead cost is ridiculous for nothing, for no search engine. The only thing I got off eBay were 5 thefts a day because I can't cancel the transactions. That's all I got off eBay's search engine. For the last year, that's about it. That's it. Why am I paying for that? So I got rid of it. So, because I need the volume sales. I could have left my eBay alone and barely squeezed any profit and barely gotten my money back in, 20 years. Why would I do that? The old business model, I was selling 100, 150 things a day. I would have made my money back on all my investment in less than a year and a half because I used to flip that much every year and a half. See the difference? It's not like these items are bad or there's a problem or even not desired. I was selling so many when they came up in search because people were looking for them. Those are the items I have today. Alrighty guys, well I'm very close to the gas station. I'm very close to the hospital, so I'm gonna let you go. I have to go to 2 hospitals, correct? Or one? Only one. Well, we'll find out. Maybe 2. Alright guys, I'm gonna let you go and I will be back on Facebook Live a little bit